Hello, guys, and welcome back to the FPL Duo. We're back on a Sunday, evening, Sunday night, I should say, for a knee-jerk live reaction stream. Now, normally we do this stream at 7 o'clock UK time, but due to some commitments, we had to move the stream. Sorry for being late. As I said, something cropped up. I literally just got home now, so we thought we'll still put the stream out today and talk about game week 29, double game week 29. So hope everyone's doing well in the chat. We've got Damien who's just joined. Evening, guys. Yeah, evening to you, Damien. Good evening, says Fatality. We've got Sport Cat as well in the chat. It says hi. We are going to get into it all and talk about double game week 29. So yeah, how you doing, Jordan? Everything good?
Yeah, everything's good. The football's been interesting this weekend, but yeah, hopefully everyone's had a nice weekend to relax and for the return of Premier League football. It has been an interesting return, let's say.
Yeah, we're going to get into the games. Definitely. Very interesting week, though. Obviously, I'm on the bench boost. Let's bring up my team and talk about how it's gone so far. So, for those that don't know, I am on a bench boost. So, in goal, Kepa. Now, we're going to have to speak about Potter, Graham Potter sacking. I literally heard about it about half an hour ago. I'm sure, Jordan, by your face, you've not heard of it yet. But yeah, Graham Potter is sacked. I think it broke about half an hour ago, which massive news. He's only been in the job for a couple of months, it seems. And Chelsea have decided to, pull the trigger on him. I am surprised with the Potter sacking. And we're going to probably speak into it in more detail. But first initial reaction is very surprised. I didn't think they'll do it this soon. I thought they may wait till next season at least. But yeah, you know what it is, a ruthless game. And Brendan Rodgers is also sacked, isn't he? Today. So Rodgers out today. Potter, a lot of sackings. But yeah, we'll get into all of that in a sec. But yeah, onto the team for my double game week 29. Kepa in goal. On the subject of Chelsea, they did lose 2-0, in fact, to Aston Villa in a very, maybe not a surprise, but it's one of those games where we looked at Chelsea, we spoke about Chelsea a lot, and I did say I don't trust them still fully, but, they're an up and down team, and you don't know what you're going to get with Chelsea. So that's the problem with Chelsea. And as you see, they lose 2-0, and it's one of those games. Potter's been sacked. It looks like they're going to have a new manager in place potentially for that Liverpool fixture in midweek. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But yeah, clean sheet white for Chelsea. Moving on to the back four. So Estupiñán. Now, I don't know if anyone watched that game, Brentford v Brighton, but for me, that was probably one of the games of the weekend in terms of just crazy end-to-end stuff. Like, it was 3-3, but that game could have easily been like 6-4 or something like that. Like, the amount of chances Brighton missed and how many shots they had. I'm going to bring up the stats for you guys, but I think Brighton had like 30 shots on goal. We'll come on to Solly March, who should have scored, honestly. Like, the amount of chances he had. Obviously, I ended up accidentally captaining him, but yeah, we'll come on to that. So Estupiñán, yeah, blank because, not blank, 1 pointer due to, was it for the minutes played, but then because he conceded 3 goals, he got the -1. So nothing to shout about there, but he does have Bournemouth away next. I'm hoping for better returns in that one. Moving on to Kieran Trippier. For the lovely 12-pointer, we spoke about Trippier all season. He's been outstanding. And again, we speak about that Manchester United game actually, because I said on the preview, I was pretty sure Man United wouldn't win because it was one of those games. I looked at it. Newcastle have only lost, I think, 2-3 times this season. I think they've only lost once at home, and that was to Liverpool. And even Liverpool are quite fortunate, I think, to beat Newcastle in that game. So Man United without Casemiro, I thought they were quite poor. Weghorst, I thought, struggled, and then I thought quite comfy for Newcastle. I think it could have been 3-4-0, especially when you take into account their first half. Man United, we'll come on to Luke Shaw, but yeah, it was one of those games where I think Trippier was quite comfy, and he did get the assist. As always, that when he gets the assist, Trippier he usually gets the bonus points as well. So 3 bonus assists as well, clean sheet points for a lovely double-digit return from Trippier. Moving on to Luke Shaw, wasn't his greatest game. You could maybe say he's at fault for one of the goals. He ends up with 1 pointer, obviously conceding 2 goals to Newcastle. But he does have a second game to come against Brentford, so you never know. You could see a clean sheet in that one, maybe, but I don't see a clean sheet against Brentford, if I'm being honest, for Man United. I think I expect them to win, but that Brentford game, Brentford do score, especially with the likes of Tony and Bouma. I do think they could get something past them, but I still think Man United could get the win against Brentford in that second game, so we'll have to wait and see. Moving on to Chilwell, which is quite an annoying one for my team this week. So for those that didn't watch the game, I thought Chilwell scored a very perfectly legitimate goal. He jumped up, he headed the ball, and he was adjudged to have fouled one of the players. I think it was
Ashley Young.
But I thought it was very, very soft. I think Ashley Young maybe got away with one because literally, I mean, it's a contact sport. So I thought it was a bit of a surprise that he got the foul. But anyway, not complaining too much. But I thought he was Chelsea's best player by miles. He put a nice couple of balls in. But other than that, conceded again. So 0 pointer, which is very annoying because he could have had a goal and an assist. And that's the kind of variance that I needed this week. But it didn't happen. So a blank for Chilwell. But he's got Liverpool to come. So maybe better luck. I think it's on Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it's Tuesday, isn't it? So yeah, we'll see what he can do in that second game. Moving on to the midfield now. Mitoma, he does score. Obviously, Mitoma's in great form. Another goal, played the 90 minutes as well. 7 pointer for him, which is very nice. For those that captained him, he did return. Now, if anyone that missed my deadline stream will have known that I was supposed to captain Rashford. But then I accidentally somehow switched it to March due to some error by me. But luckily for me, March did get an assist. I watched a lot of that game, and it was just very unlucky that March didn't score because he should have scored. He missed a very good chance. Probably missed another. He was just shooting on sight whenever he got the ball. So I'm very glad I've got March and Mitoma for Bournemouth away because I think there's going to be another big haul potentially for both of them in that game. So March as my captain, it might not turn out to be such a bad thing in the end with Bournemouth away. But yeah, he did get me the 10 pointer due to being my captain. Moving on to Rashford. Obviously, Rashford was flagged before the game, but as we knew, it was nothing to worry about. He did start against Newcastle. Obviously, we know it was a 2-0 loss for Man United. I didn't think Rashford had his best of games. I think Man United were, I don't know how to explain it. I thought they were I just thought they were quite poor. They didn't create too much. I think Rashford tried the odd thing here. He didn't really go for him. But yeah, as I said, he's got the second game against Brentford to turn it around. He's at home fixture as well, so at Old Trafford, so you probably fancy them a bit more. But yeah, it's just one of those games. I thought Newcastle just were the better team, really, and Rashford struggled quite a bit, I thought, in that game. Moving on to the front three, Ollie Watkins, who I did bring in for this fixture, he did brilliant as well. If you take a look at, he does score again in at 2-0. Lovely. I think inside the first 18 minutes he scores, and then he gets up 2 bonus points as well, which is very nice to see. And yeah, very happy with having him in my team. And he's got Leicester away next. Obviously, a managerless Leicester after Rodgers has been sacked. So that second game against Leicester could be a nice one as well for Aston Villa, who are doing very well under Unai Emery. After Gerrard has left now, it seems like Aston Villa have gone up a gear and kicked on, definitely. So very, very nice to see. Moving on to Tony. He does it again, 9-pointer, goal, and the 3 bonus points, ticking along nicely. Fortunately, he didn't pick up a yellow card, so that means he will be available for that fixture against Manchester United. So that's nice for us managers that have Tony still. I'm glad I held on to him. 9-pointer, Manchester United next. You never know. I do believe he can score in that fixture, so he should get a nice return in that one. So yeah, 9-pointer from him. Moving on to Harry Kane. He's yet to play, of course. Tottenham actually play tomorrow night, I believe, against Everton. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what Harry Kane does in that fixture as a single game week player. Moving on to my bench, obviously I am on a bench boost. So Raya, who did pick up a very nice 6-pointer after conceding 3 goals due to 2 bonus points because of his performance, and also he had 11 saves in that game. So that should tell you guys how crazy that match was. He had 11 saves and he conceded 3 goals and he still got 2 bonus points. Just because how crazy. If you guys haven't watched that game, I suggest you guys go watch the highlights, because I couldn't. The amount of shots in that game, everyone was just shooting, and there could have been a lot more goals basically. So yeah, Raya 6-pointer, even though he conceded 3, which is quite funny. He's got Bournemouth away as well next, so hopefully he can keep a clean sheet, and it should be a double-digit return for him. Hopefully. Moving on to Saka, the very annoying. I want to speak about this now because for those that didn't watch my team selection video, I was actually going to take Saka out and Kane out for Salah and Solanke. And lo and behold, Salah goes and scores a lovely goal against Man City. And then Solanke, who never scores, and I was going to bring him in knowing that he doesn't ever score, he goes and scores as well in that win against Fulham. So very, very frustrating that Solanke and Salah both score when I was going to bring him in. I didn't do it, and my gut was telling me to do it. Maybe I should have just listened to myself and went with it. Because at that time, a lot of people were thinking -12, you're crazy, but it would have paid off if I went there. But hey ho, I think that Saka benching is a bit unlucky. We heard about it literally after the deadline. If I heard about it before, I would have took Saka out, but it is what it is. He only got the 1 point after coming on after like 60 minutes. But yeah, that was unfortunate. Moving on to Bruno Fernandes. Again, he did blank with a 2-pointer. I thought Fernandes wasn't great today. I thought he was a bit reserved. I think he wasn't further forward. I don't know if that's because of Casemiro as well not playing. I do think that makes a big difference to this Manchester United defense. They're nowhere near as good without Casemiro, I believe. And I think Bruno was playing a bit more further back. So yeah, obviously blank there. Not much to say. He's got a second fixture to come as well, so we'll have to see what he can do in that one. And double Newcastle defense finally paying off for me. I have Sven Botman on the bench as well. He picked up a very nice 7-pointer for me due to the clean sheet, and he also got the 1 bonus point, which was nice to see. I'm very happy about that. So I'm actually on 67 points. But I did take a -4. So that leaves me with 63 points. But yeah, 67 points minus the 4, which leaves me with 63. And it is a green arrow, a pretty big green arrow, I believe, as well, which I'm quite happy about. I'm just going to double check in terms of actual places. I think it's what was it? It's about 100k, or no, about 80k. I'd say an 80k green arrow, which I can't really complain. Green arrow at the end of the day. I've still got a lot of players left to play. I've got 11, 12, 13, 14 fixtures left on 67 points, if you want to put it that way. And, I should break the 100-point barrier, I think, this game week, which would be nice. I know a lot of other people are on the bench boost as well. So, yeah, that's my team, guys. 63 points because of the -4. I am on a green arrow of about 85k, I believe. And, yeah, that is my team so far. Let's move on to your team, Jordan. Run us through how your team has performed in Double Game Week 29. And, yeah, let's bring it up.
Yeah, it hasn't gone quite the way I wanted it to this week, but let's start off with the goalkeeper. Obviously, this wasn't going to be a clean sheet for Messia, but yeah, Leeds do lose 4-1 to Arsenal, and because they conceded 4, That leaves Messi with 0 points because obviously the -2 that was taken off for his minutes played has now left him with 0. So nothing from him in the first fixture. Hopefully not Forest at home. He could potentially maybe get a clean sheet or save points in that fixture. Moving on to the defence, we've got Lewis Dunk, who only gets the 1 point. Obviously, that match ended 3-3. Very exciting match to watch. So, yeah, -1 because of goals conceded. So, that only leaves Dunk with 1 point for the minutes he played. So, no clean sheet there for Lewis Dunk. But hopefully, in Bournemouth away game, they can give him a very nice game over there. But hopefully, a clean sheet from Lewis Dunk. Next, we've got Trippier, who comes from a double haul, which feels like he hasn't had one in a while. And yeah, for the assist, the clean sheet, and the bonus points. So it's a nice double haul for Kieran Trippier again. That was the 2-0 win against Man United. Next, we've got Ben Mee, who, again, this was a very exciting match. Goals conceded. So that leaves him with 1 point. Obviously, -1 for the goals conceded against Brentford. But yeah, very exciting game. And hopefully it will be another exciting game with Man United away in the second fixture for Ben Mee. And finally, for the last defender, we've got Luke Shaw. Obviously, Man United did lose 2-0 to Newcastle. So yeah, only 1 point for Luke Shaw. Because of goals conceded, he had the point taken off of him, which leaves him with 1. He does have Brentford at home next, so it's pretty much Ben Mee versus Shaw in the second fixture. So we have to see who ends on top, if one of them gets a clean sheet or the other. Moving on to the midfield, this is where it hasn't been that great. I'll start off with my captain, who was Bruno Fernandes, and obviously there was no goals for Man United in that game. There was actually no shots for Man United in the first half. Like 0 shots for Man United. They have been really poor in that game. I knew it was going to be a tough game, but I expected a little bit more from Man United. Considering they did beat Newcastle in the Carabao Cup, it seemed like a complete different team playing Newcastle at home today. And yeah, it was quite disappointing. Fernandes wasn't up to his normal form. But again, he was playing further back as well until Ten Hag did switch the rotations of players around, which made him bring a bit more forward. But yeah, nothing for Bruno Fernandes, only the 4 points because I did captain him, but without the captaincy, he only gets 2 points. And it's pretty much the same for Rashford. He was quiet in that match. Not really many chances created for Man United, if I'm honest. So yeah, he only gets 2 points for the minutes he played in that game. I imagine a lot of captainers that went for Marcus Rashford are a bit nervous now. Hopefully he can return in that Brentford home fixture. We actually hope he doesn't, because obviously we didn't captain Rashford. Next, and the final midfielder, he probably saves the midfielding blanks, but Matoma, he did score and gets the 5 points as well as the minutes played. So nice 7-pointer from Matoma in that 3-3 draw against Brentford. So yeah, he has Bournemouth away next. So this could be a potential double haul for Matoma. And I know he was a captain pick as well. So congrats on those who did pick Matoma as a captain pick, because it so far is paid off. Moving on to the forward line. So we start off with Watkins, who does get the 8-pointer against Chelsea, who did lose 2-0. So yeah, goal scored for Ollie Watkins was 1, and he got a bonus 2 on top of that. And it was a nice clean sheet victory as well, as we did mention. A few of you in the streams did mention Mings as an option, and if you did go with Tyrone Mings, it would have been a actually great pick, because Aston Villa did win 2-0. So forever who did pick Mings, you be in a quite good position, because they do have Leicester away next, and maybe potentially he can get a clean sheet, and then hopefully Watkins can get a double haul if he can score again. Next, we got Tony. He's done it again. Obviously, I'll be very surprised if Tony didn't score in this madness fixture. against Brighton. But yeah, he did score and he did get a bonus 3 on top of that. So it does leave him with 9 points. And he does have Man United away next, which should be a very interesting fixture because he may have the potential to score, obviously, against Man United, even though it's an away fixture. And Brentford haven't been that great away. They have proven to sort of change that in terms of the way they've played so far. And finally, and this was my transfer before the deadline, and this is João Felix. Obviously, Chelsea did lose 2-0 to Aston Villa, so only 2 points for João Felix with the minutes played. I don't regret the choice because obviously from hearing Potter being sacked, it may change things when they do go against Liverpool at home. So hopefully with João Felix, he can at least get something from that second fixture. He could have potentially got one from the first one against Aston Villa. He did have 1 or 2 chances, which weren't the greatest, but he had the potential to score one of them. But unfortunately, he didn't. But I am hopeful still that he can perform well against Liverpool at home. And yeah, pretty much on the team bench, apart from Odegaard, who was the only return, everyone else pretty much blanked. So Ederson blanked because they conceded 1 goal to Liverpool. Saka didn't start in that game until coming on for the 30 minutes that he did play, so he only gets 1 point. Odegaard did get an assist and got 1 bonus point. And Kilman, he didn't get the clean sheet as Nottingham Forest did draw with Wolves, so that only leaves him with 2 points. But so far this week, it has been very, very bad. I think I've had a 5th red arrow in the row now. I seem to be on the downward spiral, but it was expected because a lot of people are bench boosting this week, which I did use a few game weeks ago. But I am on currently 47 points, and I'm on the 523k, and that is a red arrow because I was around the 400k area, but now I've dropped down considerably low to 500. But the game is not over yet. We're pretty much halfway through it, so hopefully I can turn that red into a green, especially if Fernandez can get me a return, especially for him being the captain of my team. But yeah, that's pretty much my game week 29 summary.
Okay, so that's how pretty much both our game weeks have gone. It's been a weird game week, exciting game week as well. I think some good games to watch, obviously as a neutral. But yeah, I think we'll read some of your comments out, and then we'll probably take some questions as well. Talk about game week 30 as well, early transfer plans and all that stuff. Fatality bench boost 78 points and counting. Very nice, 78 points. So definitely should break that 100-point barrier come the midweek. Damien Mason says 7 months is crazy to sack someone. Has it been 7 months? Because it feels like Potter's been in charge a bit longer, a bit shorter than 7 months. Like, I didn't know it was that long. But yeah, that Potter sacking is going to make things interesting, I guess, if you're a Chelsea fan. Fatality says, I did Saka to Salah for a hit with 1 minute left of the deadline, thanks to Andy. Yeah, I should have done it. I was going to do it even before that news because I was going to do it. You know, I was thinking about doing it on the Thursday. I'm sure you remember, Jordan. I wanted to take him out.
Yeah.
And I wanted to bring Solanke in as well, who Solanke scored somehow. I couldn't believe it. I was like, when I saw him score, I was like, oh, what have I done? Not bringing him in. So it's just annoying. But yeah, good, fair play to everyone that did do it. I didn't know about this whole Saka being benched. Now it comes out that he was feeling a bit unwell. So that's why he didn't start. But I think it's a bit unlucky for us Saka owners. Combe, evening gang. Evening to you, Combe. Hope you're well. One of the game of the season, Brighton, brilliant. Yeah, that game was crazy, as I mentioned. It was just end-to-end basketball stuff. Brighton literally could have had 6 goals, 7 goals, you know, if they could finish, unfortunately. But, you know, that Bournemouth game could be very nice. You know, if you don't have triple Brighton, you potentially could be hiding behind the sofa for that game because I have a feeling it could be a big scoring game. Damien Mason, I fancy Brentford to get something at Man United. Possibly. You never know. Man United will be at home, so in that sense, they could play a lot better. Definitely have to play a lot better. Man United now they've been overtaken by Newcastle, so they have to get back to winning ways. But no Casemiro, I think is a big blow for them. Without Casemiro, I do think they lack that control in the middle of the park. Raya picked up 6 points and they've sold him to Brighton in the same game week. Says Colm. Fatality. Mitoma captain for him. So well done. Johnny says 73 points with 15 to play. Huge green arrow for me. Yeah. Congrats. I'm assuming you're on the bench boost as well. As a lot of us are. And he also says Bournemouth and Brighton will end up 0-0. Well, hopefully not. No, I don't see it being a 0-0. Yeah, I don't see him being a 0-0 to be fair. Just because of the way Brighton play. They're all action. Just joking. Ask you had him down as playing Bournemouth away in the second game rather than Man United.
Yeah. Sorry, that's an error by me.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it must be a little error. Which one was that for?
That was for your team. For Ray on the bench, it says Bournemouth away fixture next to him.
Okay, cool. Let me just go back. Okay, yeah, my bad. Yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much our double game week 29 out the way. And yeah, I'm still quite happy with how it's gone. And I've got a decent green arrow, but it could have been a lot better if I had Salah and Solanke. But it's still a long way to go. I've still got Kane left as well, I guess, tomorrow. See how that happens. And yeah, the Brighton assets against Bournemouth look quite good, hopefully. But yeah, let's talk about game week 30 and early news for that. But I'll check a few more questions as well. Just popped in. Christian, bench boost, active, 75 points, 13 to play, March captain. Oh, there you go. There's another March captainer. Yeah, for those that don't know, I basically accidentally captained Solly March, which I wasn't meant to do. Luckily, it's paid off so far. Obviously, Rashford did blank, but Rashford could outscore March. You never know against Brentford if he gets a goal. Are you happy with March captain? So far, yeah, I guess so. He's got an assist. At least I'm quite annoyed that he didn't score in that game. He should have scored. Annoying, but I have faith in him now. After watching him play, hopefully he can get me a goal or two in that second fixture. But yeah, as of now, I'm quite happy. As long as Rashford doesn't score against Brentford, because obviously, even if you own Rashford, if he scores, you're gonna get a red arrow just because of how high his effective ownership is. I think it's like 160% nearly. So yeah, that's pretty much how it works. But I'm gonna bring up my team. Bear with me for a sec, guys. I'm gonna show you guys how I'm lining up for game week 30. We're gonna talk about potentially bringing Haaland back in. Is he gonna be fit? I think that's gonna be the main talking point. Let me share my screen first. So this is what my team looks like currently for game week 30. I've not done my team at all, so I'm just going to read through what I've got. So I've got Kepa, who's got Wolves away. I've got a back three of Luke Shaw against Everton. I've got Chilwell, who has Wolves, and I've got Trippier, who has Brentford away. I've got a midfield four of Rashford against Everton at home. I've got Mitoma against Spurs away. I've got Saka against Liverpool away. And then I've got Fernandes against Everton at home. And then up front, I've got Tony, Newcastle at home. I've got Watkins, who's got Forest at home. And I've got Kane, who's got Brighton at home. And on the bench, as you can see, I've got Raya, I've got Estupinian, I've got Solly March, and I've got Botman. So the bench is looking fairly decent. I've not really considered who I'm going to play. I still think I'd play Mitoma over Solly March. That's why Solly March is on the bench. A bit of a benching headache. I think I'd want to play Rashford and Fernandes against Everton at home. Saka against Liverpool. I think I still want to play Saka. Then the front three has to play. So yeah, it looks like Estupinian and March might have to sit on the bench for me this game week. Obviously, I've got one free transfer, haven't I? In game week 30, and there's a comment here assuming your transfer is Tony to Haaland. Slight issue with that plan. So if I go on my transfers, if I take out Tony, I've only got 9.6 million. So I can't get to Haaland in one move through Tony. I have to take Kane out if I want Haaland, or I have to downgrade elsewhere in my team to get Haaland back in, which is slightly annoying. So let's say I bring Haaland in for Tony, and I don't actually know if Haaland's going to be fit because obviously he wasn't on the bench in that Liverpool fixture. So we'll have to wait and see in the Champions League. The Champions League isn't this week, is it? We have to wait and see what happens after that. So Champions League is before Leicester, I believe. So, yeah, is he going to start against Southampton? I don't know yet. So if he doesn't start against Southampton, I can avoid him for another week. But yeah, I basically need another 2.4 million somewhere if I want to get, if I want to have Haaland and Kane in the same team along with Fernandes, because it takes up a lot of the budget. So I actually can't get to Haaland in one move, unfortunately, if I want Kane, which I probably do, because Kane has a fixture against, as I said, Brighton. Brighton at home isn't an easy fixture, I don't think, because Brighton, the way they're playing, but Brighton do concede a lot of goals as well. They've just conceded 3 to Brentford, so Spurs could score, and Harry Kane could score against Brighton. And then in game week 31, Bournemouth at home looks like a haul-worthy fixture for Harry Kane. So I don't know if I want to get rid of him ahead of these two fixtures. Maybe after 32 is when I look to get rid of Harry Kane. But obviously with Conte now gone, we have to see how that impacts Spurs. Do they have uptick in form, or do they carry on stumbling to the top 4? I don't know, but it's going to be interesting to see, because there've been a lot of managerial changes. Maybe Leicester improve, maybe Chelsea improve, maybe even Spurs improve. So it's going to be a lot to see in that sense, how these teams with new managers do. And I'm hoping that there could be some uptick in form and make the game a bit more interesting in the final 8 game weeks. But let's say, Jordan, I want to bring Haaland in. Where do I make this 2.4 million up? Where would you, if you wanted Kane in the same team and you wanted Haaland, how do I get this money out of the team? The 2.4 I need, because the only way I see it, really, maybe taking out Chilwell. I don't know, or dare I say it, a Saka?
I'll probably say take out Fernandes.
Really?
He is low owned, not really a risky player to have if you don't own him, and he does blank 2 game weeks ahead of now. So.
Oh no, but 32. I'm not worried about 32 at all.
Oh, okay.
I'm on a free hit.
Oh, you're going free hit. Okay. Well, to save money as well, because Fernandes is a lot of money. He's 9.6 million. That easily gives you enough to bring Haaland back in.
If I'm honest, I think I'm holding on. I think I'm going to hold Fernandes, and there's no way I sell him, because 30, he's got Everton at home, which I think is a good fixture. Nottingham Forest away in 31, which I think is a decent fixture. Blank, I don't really worry, because I'm going to free hit anyway. Spurs could be quite tough. Then he has a double game week in 34, which I'd want him for. 35, 36, 37, 38. The fixtures aren't too bad. And then he also has another double to come against Chelsea in one of these game weeks, probably in game week 37, Bournemouth and Chelsea potentially. So for me, Bruno is never. I'm not selling him, I think, until maybe the end of the season. Like, he could be a long-term hold. I know Man United weren't great today, but I don't think I'm willing to sell him yet, just because of the doubles that are yet to come. That's my thoughts on it right now. If I'm saying, if I'm even thinking about, I'd still want triple Man United. I think going forward, even though obviously they haven't looked great today. The way I see it is, I'm not against selling Saka. Now, I know I was going to sell him this weekend, I should say. I wish I did now, but he's got Liverpool next, and I know Liverpool. We spoke about Liverpool so much. They're not playing well at all. They've just come off the back of being pretty much spanked by Man City 4-1. But it's at Anfield. What do we see? Do we see Saka getting a haul against Liverpool? I'm not sure, even though Arsenal are on brilliant form, and I expect them to give Liverpool a tough game. Then he's got West Ham, who obviously won today. Southampton, which is free hit week anyway for me. Then Man City, and then Chelsea. I think I could be getting rid of Saka.
I personally think Saka's one you hold to the end of the season. I don't think now is the right time to take Saka out.
Fair enough. I'm of the opinion, because I'm gonna free hit in that Southampton fixture, right, in 32. I'm gonna have him in my team for 32. Liverpool, West Ham, Man City, Chelsea, Newcastle. Even though Arsenal are top of the league and playing brilliant, I don't know how many goals. I mean, he will score in these games. I'm no doubt about it. But I want Salah in game week 34. So I have to make some money up somewhere. And I'm gonna sell Harry Kane. Don't get me wrong. Harry Kane will leave my team before. See, if you look at Harry Kane's fixtures in 32, he's got Newcastle, Man United, and then Liverpool. Around then, I'm probably going to sell Harry Kane to bring in a cheap forward that will enable me to move that money to Mo Salah. So Saka to Salah, which I should have done this week. As I said, I regret not doing that move. It's going to happen for me. I'm pretty 100%. Salah will be coming into my team in game week 34 for that double, maybe even before, because I think Leeds, Nottingham Forest. I know a lot of people don't have faith in Liverpool right now, and rightly so, because Liverpool aren't playing well at all. But Salah still, I think, can score in those fixtures. And for a double game week, I still want to own him because I just think he has the potential to get a goal or a penalty in these games. So that's my thinking longer term. I do think I want him in my team. Harry Kane to maybe someone like a Solanke, I don't know, or Brennan Johnson, or Nottingham Forest, a cheap striker. But yeah, that is what I'm looking at. Haaland will be coming into my team. Well, I've got to figure out how I afford it, because if I take out, one thing I have considered as well is taking out Raya as well in the future and downgrading him to someone like Everson. I haven't completely thought this out, but I'm going to show you guys the players I want longer term. I know, don't worry about the budget right now, but Edison is a player that I'm looking at for game week 34. Because in game week 34, Man City have a double against Fulham and West Ham. And I probably want Edison for that double because I can see him getting at least one clean sheet. So maybe I switch the goalie around. Don't know if it's worth it. But then Man City do have some nice fixtures to the end of the season. And they will have another double game week to come against Brighton. And from 34, Man City's run to the end of the season is not that bad. On paper, Man City actually have the easier running than Arsenal, to be fair, looking at it. Selling Saka now is not the move. Yeah, I felt like that this week though, and he didn't start and Salah scored. So definitely, I know Saka's been great, but if it's a double game week player like Salah, I'd rather a double game week Salah than a Saka in a single game week. Just people won't agree with me, but that's how I feel on it. Damien Mason, when is Casemiro back? Jordan, do you want to take that one?
Casemiro.
How many more games is it? He's out for 4 games, isn't he?
He was banned for 4 games, so
another 3 games left, but one's an FA Cup game, so he should be back for. Let me just check. He's back for Nottingham Forest, I think. I believe. I'm not sure on that though.
I think
you can check for me if you can.
I'll have a little check.
How are people getting such high points? Did they captain a Brighton mid and have triple Newcastle defense?
A lot of people bench boosted Dom. I think that's why it's a very high scoring week for most people.
Yeah, bench boost made a difference, I'd say. And if you captain someone like Mitoma, or if you've got double Newcastle defense, as you mentioned, or triple even, a lot of people do have triple Newcastle, or some people have triple Newcastle. I think I've seen some. A lot of people have double Newcastle with Botman, like I do. Other players have done well. Obviously, Watkins, Tony both scoring. Yeah, mainly those players, I think. But yeah, Salah as well. A lot of people do still, I think, have Salah. A couple of people, and he scored. Man City did really well. If you own De Bruyne, if you own Grealish, not that many do, I don't think, anyway. But obviously, they did really well against Liverpool. Krogsberg had double Newcastle. Yeah, I did as well, and captain Salah. So yeah, nice to see that pay off. Going captain Salah, that's a bold move as well. Just want to add, guys, if you are enjoying the content, got to remind you guys, because some people forget, you please consider liking the stream. It really helps the channel out. So if you are enjoying it, like the stream and also subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. It really helps the growth of the channel and the algorithm. So every like is appreciated. But yeah, look, going back to my team, I don't see what move I'm going to make. I have to think about it. Because if Haaland's fit, I'd probably want Haaland if I'm being honest, because he's got that fixture in Southampton, and that could be a scary, scary game if you don't own Haaland. With the way Southampton are playing, 2.4 million to make up. Where do I go? I might have to take a -4 potentially. Well, I will if I want Haaland and Kane. Anyway, Jordan, let's talk about your team. Yeah, so Casemiro is back on the 15th. Be Forest. Yeah, it was Forest game.
Okay, that should be good for Man United then.
I'll let you bring up your team. Talk us through how you're lining up, really, and your plans in terms of transfers. Are you bringing Haaland back in?
Yeah, if he's fit, then yeah, we'll be bringing Haaland back in. But it all depends on whether he's going to be all right for the next game week, because obviously that is from now 5 days away. So let's give him 5 days of recovery before he has to play again. So, but if he does, then I have the money, obviously, to take him to bring him back in my team. I'll just show you my other slide. Yeah, because I have 6.8.
Who would you take out though?
It'll be João Felix.
Oh, that's a waste of a move. Then you're taking him straight back out.
Yeah, I only wanted João Felix as a double. It wasn't anything long term. It was just to have another player there, just to until Haaland does return. And yeah, it was only a short term.
I mean, if Tony picks up a yellow card against Man United, then obviously you'll take Tony out. I'm assuming, because obviously he'll miss the 2 games.
Yeah, because João Felix and Tony are the same money. Yes, yeah. If that's the case, then yeah, I'll take Tony out and bring Haaland in, which I still have 2.4 million in the bank left.
Okay, so you can get to him in one move.
Yeah, I get 2 in one move, and if I wanted to, I could even take out Fernandes, and maybe for 12 million, I don't know who I would actually bring in for that, but I want to see what Fernandes does in at least the Everton and Nottingham Forest home fixtures, because if he hasn't really done well in those 2 fixtures, I might even take him out when Man United blank after that.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, you don't have a free hit, do you?
I do have a free hit. I do have a wild card though, if I need.
How many? I've just realised you've got a bunch of players that don't have a fixture in Game Week 32. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, it might be.
That don't have a fixture. What? Can you go? What's your plans? Because if you bring up live, sorry, what's the transfer planner website called again? FPL.team. How does your team look for Game Week 32? Have you seen it?
No, I haven't actually looked at the future for.
Can we go and plan it and see how you'd look and what your moves will be for the next 2 weeks? Because you got to navigate that, because that's going to be interesting to see how you navigate that without a free hit. Because looking at your team, you do have quite a lot of players that won't play in 32.
Yeah, I think by the time I get there, I probably won't need to use.
You only have 2 free transfers up until that game week. I'm gonna read the comments out. I'll let you get to it. Dom says James, Chilwell, Saka, Shaw, Estupinian, total of 4 points. Yeah, very, very disappointing. I own all of them. Oh, apart from James. I'm afraid taking out Chilwell wouldn't be enough for Haaland in your team. Yeah, I'm aware, Johnny. It's just I might take Chilwell out and move that money to a cheap defender and then take a hit elsewhere. I'm definitely going to have to take a hit if I want Haaland and Kane. Does anyone think Kane's a necessary pick, though, for next week when he's got Bournemouth? I think he could be. That's why I'm afraid to remove Kane. But yeah, let's plan your future moves. Because I want to see how you look for Game Week 32.
Okay, well, this is what it currently looks for Game Week 30.
That looks fine.
Yeah, and then we move on to Game Week 31.
Are you going to do a move, though, in 30? Let's just do your planned move.
In 30... Oh, yeah, let me take out João Felix. And let's say Haaland's fit.
Let's assume he's fit.
I'll just put him in there for now. That would be my move for Game Week 30. Then move on to Game Week 31. I'll probably, as long as Tony's fine, I'll probably just roll.
Play Saka as well, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'll play Saka and then bench Duncan.
Oh, you got Odegaard. So probably try. Maybe you got a bit of a benching headache then as well there.
Yeah, that's fine actually. I don't mind a benching headache in case at that time someone's injured or doesn't play.
So you'll roll in 31 potentially.
Yeah, I would probably roll in 31 just to be ready for this.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, so
Kilman will play against Leicester, which could be okay.
Yeah. So
how many players do you have though?
Let's just see. I would have
8.
8, but I'll have
two
transfers.
But here's the issue though: you take out Fernandes, or you take out Luke Shaw, or Rashford, or Haaland. You want them back for 33.
Yes, for their double. So I'll probably just play with. Actually, I would probably take Luke Shaw out and just have Fernandes and Rashford, I think, for that double.
Fair enough.
And bring in someone else
that plays that week.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I haven't seen what my team looks like as well for 32 because I'm going to free hit. So I've not actually made a free hit team. We'll have videos on a free hit team, I think, for sure, closer to the time.
Yeah, because I haven't really thought about.
You're not free hitting, are you? You have to just take hits or whatnot. Who do Man United have in 33, by the way? If you go another page,
they have Tottenham.
It's not the easiest fixture, depending on how Tottenham do as well. By that time, if they've improved.
Yeah, so I could probably take out Fernandes in that one, and then bring him back in for 34 for the double.
Then you're booking a transfer. Then, like, take it back in.
Yeah, I've still got my wild card, so maybe I could use that.
You could wild card in 34.
Yeah, I might. Well, I have thought about wild carding in 34 again.
Actually, that's what you probably should do. Then I'm looking at it.
Yeah, because I don't know whenever other time I will wild card.
Dead end your team into 33. So basically, bring in players that play in 32, and then free hit them. Wild card them out.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll come to it.
Yeah, we'll have to see when the time comes. It is quite.
Have you got triple? You don't have triple captain, do you? Or you do?
I still have triple captain.
Oh, interesting. I mean, you could use that sometime as well.
Yeah, I was gonna use it on Haaland when he doubles, but with his groin injury, I don't know how badly that affects him.
Yeah, we have to see with Haaland. Do you think he'll be fit though for Southampton? I'm not so sure.
No, I think he might make the bench, but I don't think he'll make the team for that game. I don't think Pep would want to risk putting him on the pitch.
Alvarez. If Alvarez is, if I knew Alvarez was going to get a run of games, I would definitely bring him into my team.
Yeah, he did score in that win.
He looked great. He looked great against Liverpool as well. I think he's a great player. Obviously, Man City have such an embarrassment of riches that he can't get a game, but he's a top quality player.
Yeah, he's a good replacement for when Haaland's not
Oh
available
yeah,
as well.
definitely.
So,
Braddon punch Alvarez in game week 30 if Haaland can't play. Yeah, look, Haaland's if Haaland can't play, Alvarez is a great shout to bring into your team because he is a really good player and he will get chances. And as you saw against Liverpool, he is very good, scoring as well, getting involved in the play, link up. I think he's a great player. Who is second and third Man City on your thought? Interesting. For me, Haaland obviously when he's fit. I think second could be Edison. Now the reason why is because Edison's going to play every game, and there's no rotation. And with Man City's midfield options, I know Grealish I think could be good. Bernardo I think is a risk still. Gundogan's still a risk. Look, even Kevin De Bruyne Kevin De Bruyne has been benched in certain games, especially with the Champions League quarterfinal coming up. There could be that slight worry if he could get benched in one of those games. So I think Edison, maybe a Grealish, Mahrez. Now with Foden being out, I think Mahrez becomes a better option. But I'd play it safe basically and go Edison and Haaland as the moves. But look, it could change from a week 2 from now. Someone could be a bit more nailed in the Premier League matches. And let's see what happens with Foden as well, how long he's out for. Because if Foden comes back into the team, then it makes Mahrez a rotation risk again, and then that becomes a worry who you bring in. But Grealish is one that I feel like he's going to play mostly those Premier League games, so maybe he's the best outfield player to pick apart from Haaland.
yeah, and Pep seemed quite happy when he did get subbed off as well. He did whisper into Grealish's ear and had a little conversation between each other. So we can sort of gather that he sort of likes Grealish now playing on the pitch as he's showing that form.
Yeah, Grealish obviously looking like a lot better now, especially after that performance against Liverpool. That's what Man City paid 100 million for him. They expected that sort of performance, and yeah, he's looking good so far. And I think he could be a decent option. My regret this game week is not bringing in Aguard for Zinchenko for -8 only because he was flagged. Yeah, of course, Aguard did score that header, lovely header against Southampton today. So yeah, it's one of those. I feel the same, pretty much with Salah. Jordan, it doesn't look like you are bringing Haaland back in next game week, doesn't it?
All depends, Colm, on whether Haaland is fit enough to make it the starting 11. Because if he isn't, then no, I probably won't bring Haaland back in next game week if I find out he's going to be benched or not fit enough.
Yeah, I think same. I mean, if we find out he's not going to play, then yeah, there's no point bringing him in until at least game week 31. So yeah, we'll keep a close eye on Haaland. I think Haaland is going to be the most popular move in if he is confirmed fit. I think that's going to be an obvious move for most managers because a lot of us have sold him. But look, we are probably going to wrap it up soon. If you haven't already, make sure you do drop a like on the video. If you haven't also subscribed, make sure you do subscribe. Top right corner of the stream, you can see the league code. So if you haven't joined our FPL Duo mini league, make sure you do join and see how you're performing this season on our league. If you can win it. If you want to follow us on our socials, I haven't shouted us out in a while. The FPL Duo on Twitter. Make sure you do follow us up on there. And yeah, any other questions, guys, drop them in the comments below. We'll try our best to answer them. Just before we wrap it up, got Colm with another question. With Potter gone now and Haaland an injury concern, will it be worth just keeping Felix and just bring in players playing in game week 32? I think that question is to you, Jordan.
Yeah, I have actually had thought of this, Colm, as well. Just hold on to Felix, and obviously until that blank that comes in 32. Especially with Potter gone now, it may bring Chelsea more out of their uncomfortable zone. So maybe João Felix can now thrive on the pitch without Potter being the manager there, and hopefully they can obviously score more goals, Chelsea, because they have struggled to do that this season. So maybe it's a good thing that Potter's gone. Maybe João Felix wasn't such a bad transfer, but we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, when Chelsea do play against Liverpool at home.
Yeah, that Liverpool Chelsea fixture is going to be a good one to watch. Maybe I don't think it'll be a great game. To be fair, I think both teams are rubbish. So yeah, we'll have to see if with that one. But who are Chelsea going to even bring in? It's going to be interesting. I think Nagelsmann. Nagelsmann could be one that we have to keep a close eye on and name that. Because he's just been sacked by Bayern Munich. So I think Nagelsmann to Chelsea could have legs. But we'll have to wait and see. And yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on it. I'm still surprised that Chelsea did get rid of him this quick. I know Chelsea have struggled this season. I'm just looking at Twitter. There is Nagelsmann news actually. There's some news regarding Nagelsmann. So maybe he's one that if he becomes Chelsea's manager, maybe they get more out of some of their players. I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty sad for Potter because obviously he had the job offered to him at Chelsea and then leaving Brighton, who are doing really well this season. Now he's managerless and has no club to manage anymore. It's pretty.
I mean, the payout is going to be crazy, isn't it? I think he got a 6 or 7 year contract, Potter, when he did. When he did take up the job, and that's going to be an expensive sacking. But you know, Chelsea probably have the money to pay it, I guess, the way they've been spending money. But look, it's going to be interesting. I mean, they've not been good enough, have they, Chelsea? I think they're languishing 11th, and it's one of those, I guess. It's a results business. Who do you guys think are going to be nailed Chelsea players after the sacking? Look, it's hard to say because with a new manager, it depends who he favors. Really, if he might hate Joao Felix or he might like Havertz. We don't know what the new manager thinks of these players because when he comes in, he's going to test the players out, I guess, in terms of what he wants, and you know, he's going to try out different things. So Chelsea could be, I don't know. When a new manager usually comes in, they try out different things. Like one player will play 1 week, and there'll be a whole nother team next week, just to get a feel of what what they're trying to, build towards. Because a new manager will have new ideas, and I think it's very hard to say who's going to be nailed. But Kepa, etc., the ones we usually have in our team, Chilwell, etc., they should be fine. But it's the attacking players that we have no clue. Like you could prefer Sterling or Pulisic, or you never know really. No one is in that attack, or even the midfield maybe is nailed. But yeah, look, we've got more games to come this weekend. Not weekend, this midweek. Liverpool, Chelsea, the doublers, and I'm excited. FPL wise, not so much as a Liverpool fan. But yeah, obviously Spurs are playing tomorrow, so it should be a good one there against Sean Dyche's Everton. Tuesday, we've got Bournemouth, Brighton, and Leeds Forest, as well as Leicester, Villa, and Chelsea, Liverpool. So quite a lot of games on Tuesday night. And Wednesday, we do have the West Ham and Newcastle and Man United, Brentford fixtures. Yeah, I think Man United, Brentford could be a good game as well. Yeah, Mendy might become number one. You never know. So new manager, new ideas. Could happen. FPL Josh, hi guys. I'm on 74 points, 15 game weeks remaining as I had 15 double game weeks on bench boost. I don't know what you mean by that. There isn't 15 game weeks remaining. There's only 8.
15 players maybe remaining.
Oh yeah, I think it means 15 players. Krogsberg, do you think Klopp is next to be sacked? Well, as a Liverpool fan, I can assure you that I don't believe Klopp is under any pressure to get sacked, which might sound crazy because I believe at any other club, Klopp probably is sacked by now. But because it's Liverpool and obviously what he's achieved, and I don't believe Klopp's in any pressure at all. Even if he finishes 10th this season, I think he has too much credit in the bank with these owners to pull the trigger on him. I think he's more likely to walk than be sacked, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion as a Liverpool fan who does follow very closely. But yeah, I don't think Klopp's going to get sacked at all. I think if he leaves, it'll be on his own accord. I just think the owners know I have another channel as well, a Liverpool related channel, which I'll probably start doing more videos on, maybe in depth. If you guys want to see that sort of stuff about Liverpool and football in general, not away from the FPL side, and talking about, my thoughts on the games and football teams and maybe the big six, might put that on my channel. So if that's something you guys want to see, let us know in the chat. We'll probably have a little football channel as well as this. This won't change. Linus, is Chilwell still worth keeping now? Poor results, new manager, and blank in 32. Good question. I think it's the last question actually we'll take because it's getting late. So I don't want to keep you guys for too long. Is Chilwell worth keeping? Liverpool next. Obviously, this fixture, you've got him already, I assume. So Wolves away, I think, is still a good fixture for him. Brighton at home, it's not bad. Then he's got a blank. If you've not got a free hit, then yeah, you could look to get rid of him. But because I've got a free hit, I'm still going to keep the faith with Chilwell. I'll give him another couple games. If not, if Chelsea don't look better with a new manager, then yeah, you could look to get rid. But I would give him another couple game weeks because he does look like Chelsea's most threatening player, if that makes sense. But look, Chelsea are a weird team. You don't know what you're going to get with them. So I think give him a couple games. I wouldn't be selling him just yet, I don't think. But I don't think if you want to take him out, I don't think that's a bad move either. But anyway, we are going to wrap it up with, hitting 10:30 here. But yeah, still 20 watching. If you have enjoyed the content, make sure you do smash that like button, guys, and make sure you are subscribed to the FPL Duo YouTube channel. We are back again on Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. for the transfer tips video. We're back again as well after that on Thursday for team selection, and then obviously deadline stream on the Saturday. But yeah, that's it from us. Anything else you want to add, Jordan, before we do wrap it up?
Yeah, just take care. Have a great week, guys. Hope you enjoyed the weekend. And yeah, we'll see you Tuesday for the transfer tips.
Yeah, see you guys Tuesday. Hope you had a good weekend. And yeah, hope you have a good start to the week, sorry, I should say. Yeah, peace out.